Yo, man, I'm sick of y'all FBA niggas. For real. And why I'm sick of y'all is because y'all sit up here, y'all talk shit about African people on the continent. We all going through the same issues that our brothers and sisters on the continent are going through. We are going through it here. Y'all don't talk about shit. Y'all not talking about gaining no economic power here. Y'all sit up here, y'all cry about this is our country, this is our land, and yet y'all ain't did shit to obtain any power. Many of you sit up here and claim that y'all aboriginals. Go up there to the Indian reservation and tell them that and see how they treat you. You'll be lucky if you make it out of there with your body parts, not much less alive. We are all African people. Whether you accept that truth or not, it really doesn't matter to me. The truth stands as it is. There is no such thing as a foundational black American. Because we're not American. If we was American, we wouldn't be sitting up here on YouTube talking about issues that affect black people. We'd just be living a merry, happy, free life. Most of y'all live in a fantasy world. Y'all just on here on YouTube talking shit about African people. Most of you probably not even in no relationships. You just feed into other people's egos and stupidity and ignorance just to get a check. Y'all not dealing with no real issues. Y'all not talking about an economic plan to help our people. So what's your purpose? You got a fool who created the FBA. He's not even married to a black woman. He's married to a whole biracial woman. And yet none of y'all question that. None of y'all question the fact that y'all sent him $1.4 million with no fucking museum. This nigga about to make a whole maroon aboriginal movie. What the fuck is the movie gonna do right now? Our communities are in shambles. And yet we sitting up here on YouTube talking about nothing. We're not talking about real issues. We're not talking about building an economic plan. We're not up here buying no properties. We're not starting up no businesses. We're just sitting here on YouTube. There's no such thing as a fucking FBA. We're not American. What part of that shit y'all don't understand? Because if we was American, we wouldn't be having these issues. We would not be on YouTube talking about black male, black female relationships. Black women would not be getting with white men. Black men would not be getting with white women. Most of you are so blind. You don't see the truth for what it really is. All you do is get up here, ram. Of course we got issues, because we have the same enemy. Same here in the United States, our people on the motherland have. The white people. And that won't be too long before the Asians take over. What we gonna do then? Do any of us have a plan for that? Can we even get along enough to even sit down, at least try to come up with some ideas to counteract all the shit we about to see again? Black Americans sit up and talk about African people like our brothers and sisters haven't been talked about enough by the Europeans. Been colonized by the same Europeans who colonized us and kidnapped us and brought us here to what is now known as North America. And some of you FBAs are fuckboys anyway, because most of you don't even want to unite with each other. You want to bring your money together, but y'all niggas want to give this $1.4 million to a nigga who ain't doing shit for black people. And yet, still none of y'all question that. It's been close to 3 months, and y'all haven't said anything about that. You sit up and you talk about Pan-Africanism like it's dead. Pan-African was here before any of us was. We are doing a dishonor to our ancestors who fought and died to get away from this land. And y'all want to sit up there, y'all want to cry, oh, America, this is our land. This is our home. I'm not going nowhere. You sit up here, you want to deny your African ancestry. Where the fuck you think we came from? We wasn't born here. Naturally. We was in Africa, the cradle of life. Many of you FBA fuckboys are so messed up in the head that you can't even see the truth for what it really is. You won't unify with each other. But yeah, you talk about this is your land. Y'all sit up here, y'all talk shit on Twitter, TikTok, wherever the fuck y'all be at. Nothing has changed since FBA was formed. Nothing has changed since ADOS was formed. So really, what is your ideology? What was your language? What is your culture? Many of you can't even answer that. Even Tariq with his dumb ass can't even answer that. He just making this shit up as he go along, which shows how much of a fuckboy he really is. Talking about foundational black Americans, this nigga not even married to a black woman. His sister's not even married to a black man. Y'all need to, most of you who are in the FBA need to stop being brainwashed and start doing your own independent research, man. And yes, our people mindset is really messed up. Half of you don't even know what the fuck y'all be talking about. What culture do we have here in America? Rap music? What the fuck has rap music done but bring our people down, degrade our people, primarily our women? Women dressing like hoes, black men looking like thugs, when the original thugs was Europeans who came and took us from the motherland. But y'all want, but some of you want to sit up there and cry about America being our homeland. We was forced to build this land. That doesn't make it our home. We still working for the motherfucking Europeans who own most of the business here. We let Koreans come in and opening up beauty supply stores and nail shops. How many black people own nail shops and beauty salons and beauty supply stores? Instead of giving your money to the enemy. But you want to talk about black empowerment. Y'all want to talk about foundational black Americans. What foundation do we have here? Hell, we can't even get along with each other long enough to even build a foundation. We have an identity crisis on a level we wouldn't even believe. We want to identify as Native Americans. We want to identify as Moors. We want to identify as Hebrews. We want to identify as Christians, and so on and so forth. But we don't want to identify as African people. And yet we put our own people down that live on the continent. And those, our people on the continent, are our greatest allies. That's how I know y'all niggas ain't serious about no revolution. You never have been, and you never will be. You just sit up here on YouTube spitting bullshit, and people are eating it up, and you getting a check from YouTube, which is also owned by the very same Europeans that you claim to hate. Y'all full of shit. I hate talking about my own brothers and sisters like this, but we got to get it together, man. For real. We are on the level of an identity crisis. We don't want to identify, most of us don't want to identify as African. We want to identify as American. Well, you can keep on identifying as American, but these white folks will never accept you. And another thing, how can you be two nationalities? You either African or you are American. And if you claim to be American, then get the rest of the black Americans together to come up with a plan to take back this land that some of you claim so much. Because none of you are in a position of power to do anything but sit up on the goddamn internet talking shit about African people who had done absolutely nothing to black Americans here. Man, I'm out.